Test, 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 testing, test, 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 testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 test ickles, testing, test ickles, test ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 737 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Slaycast, and Taintcast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Our biceps. Let me get a little bit for Instagram. Bam. You know it. You know it on a Sunday. What's up, fam? What's going on? Welcome to episode 737. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Gain Train. Welcome to Pumptown. Welcome to the only railroad that's taking you, the Swole Road, the only Swole Road that takes you directly to Boston, Mass. Obvi, look at the gains. Look at the gains. Papa Swole is making some sick fucking gains. And today is going to be a leg day for old Papa Gain Train, for old Papa Swolio. Welcome to, should it be, or should it be an arm day? I think it's going to be leg day. Welcome to episode 737. Just some thoughts on the fly. So welcome to the Gain Train. Welcome to episode 737. Happy Sunday, everyone. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Instagram. Welcome to the Quadcast. If you're watching on Twitch, say what up, twitch.tv/Swolenormous. And also those of you that are watching on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So what up, what up, what up? There we go. And I'll apologize for yesterday's episode on YouTube. Actually, I don't know why it was set to private. So those of you that were like, hey, did I miss the show? You did, but it was Papa Swolio's fault. I forgot to hit the public button. I don't know why it was, so it didn't even broadcast, but it's up there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can catch yesterday's episode 736. And today we're going to talk about change. We're talking about wanting to change and then how to make that change. And I want to simplify it. I want to streamline and simplify it for everyone watching and or listening. So those of you that are tuning into the podcast on SoundCloud or Apple Podcast or Stitcher, wherever you catch the Daily Swole, the Daily Sleaze, this is going to be some good information. It's going to be some good content in order for you to take your shit to the next level. And even if you're just getting off the couch and just making a difference, like starting. And you've maybe heard that quote before. If you start, and if it's the last time you start, you never have to start again. Or if you get going and you don't stop, if you don't quit, right? If you don't quit, you never have to start again. And I think the hardest part about anything is starting. Do you agree? So first off, do you agree that the hardest part is getting started? The hardest part is getting started. And those of you that are in the mix of it, think back to when you started. Think back to when you started training. Think back to when you started trying to make a difference, when you started to work on your nutrition, when you started to work on your schedule to make it to the gym early in the morning, when you started to look at things differently. The beginning is the hardest part. Now, why is that the hardest part? Why is the hardest part? It's the easiest part, but it's also the hardest part. It's simple. It's simple. I shouldn't say it's easy. It's the simplest part because all you have to do is just get going. All you have to do is just literally start. You just have to start doing something towards the direction what you want. And I understand the challenges. I understand why it's hard to get started. Sometimes you don't know what to do, or you think you don't know what to do. And the interesting thing about not knowing what to do is part of the problem is that you think it's more complicated than it is. So you think there's something magical to do. You think there's something or a perfect method. And if you know someone right now, I'm just going to pause because I'm about to get into like a good rant, a good rage. I'm really going to fire you guys up today. Make sure you share this broadcast. Tag someone right now if you're on Facebook. Make sure you hit the share button, YouTube, Instagram, punch your sister next to you, like whatever you're doing, get people in the door right now because this is going to help a lot of people. This is where there's a lot of, I don't want to say discrepancy, but there's a lot of tug of war, push pull. There's a lot of going back and forth because first off, you're not going to get results if you don't start. So starting is the most important thing because if you don't get going, you never get results. So you can't get consistent until you start. And I always talk about discipline. I say, fuck motivation, fucking his stupid ass. And I'm always talking about consistency because that's how you get it. That's how you're going to get results is by being consistent and being disciplined, not by motivation. It's going to be the discipline. It's going to be doing it, but you can't do it until you start doing it. You can't be consistent. Like, it's all depending on you starting. It's all depending. You're not gonna be disciplined before you start. You can't be consistent before you start. You can't go to the gym for 100 days in a year or in a month, not in a month, but you can't go to the gym 10 times in a row if you don't go the first time. And that just makes sense. But it's that perspective that's important because it makes so much sense. Oh, yeah, it's obvious. Okay. Why don't you tell me something that, tell me the sky is blue, Papa Swole, or that we perceive it as blue, right? Tell me that, tell me that the sun doesn't exist. So it's obvious. You call me Captain Obvious, but I call you Captain Blind or Colonel Blind. I don't know. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible sequence of words coming out of my mouth. But you get the point. It's obvious, but why do the obvious things always elude us? It's kind of like when you're looking for your keys. Have you ever looked for your hat or something and it's on your head? Or you're rushing around the house trying to leave and you're looking for your keys and it's literally the keys are literally in your fucking hand? I know you've done that, right? You're looking for something or your purse or your wallet and you're either holding it or it's in your pocket. I mean, I've gone to the point where I've actually looked for my hat at one point. I was like, "Where's my hat?" Oh, it's on my head. You forget it's there. It's so obvious you don't even notice it. It's so obvious you don't even notice it. And getting started is so obvious we don't even notice that just getting started means moving in the right direction. It doesn't mean having the perfect plan. And what happens with fitness is we think that there is a perfect plan. We think there is an answer and there is something that is okay. If I go down this road and I do these exercise, I do these things, it is the perfect thing for me. It's going to get me results. It's going to do everything that I ever wanted, right? I'm going to lose all the weight I wanted. I'm going to build all the muscle I ever wanted. And that's not how it works, is it? That's not how it works. There's nothing perfect. There's a reason why there's a lot of people in shape, and there's a reason why there's so many different workout programs and protocols and different approaches is because there's more than one road to success. Just like a major city, New York City, Atlanta, Chicago, there's more than one road that goes into the city. And is it appropriate to say that the best way to get to that city is this road? Why? I mean, if you're going into Chicago from the east, okay, then the road that goes in from the east is obviously the best way for you because it's closest and it's more direct. You wouldn't want to go around the whole city and go back the other way and go 2 hours out of your way. It wouldn't make sense. So the best road is going to be the best road for you, the best path for you. And that's where a lot of you get stuck. That's where a lot of you get stuck. You get stuck with, okay, well, he just said that I need to figure out the best path for me. Well, what is the best path for me? That isn't a clear cut answer. There isn't just, okay, this is the best path. This is what you should do. This is the answer. If you do this, you'll get results. You have to try things. You have to try things and you have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself at risk. You have to put yourself into a situation where you might fail. And if you are not putting yourself in a situation where you might fail, then you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're going to succeed. And I have this philosophy, and I know it's probably a famous quote. I mean, I have so many things on the wall, but my mentality when I try new things, because I'm always doing new things with my private community, with my content. I'm always trying new things, seeing what might work better, what people might react to more, what people might like more in terms of what I'm, putting out in terms of, videos or um, or any type of exercise training or protocols. I'm always trying new things, but if you don't try something, then you're not going to fail. And if you don't fail, you're not going to succeed because what the famous Thomas Edison quote is, I didn't discover how to create a light bulb. I discovered 10,000 ways that didn't work. And that's a great quote. And the quicker you are to move on your fitness, the quicker you are to move forward, the quicker you can fail. Just assume we assume we are when it comes to fitness, we assume we will succeed. When it comes to fitness, we assume that we will succeed. We assume that we will win. We assume that because we want to change, because we want to make a difference in our bodies, because we want to undergo this journey, that we will succeed. And I want you to think about your fitness as this way instead. When you undergo this journey, I want you to understand that you will fail. Fuck the succeed. You may succeed, but you will only succeed if you fail. The one thing that is sure when you start training, when you start a training program, when you start doing something with nutrition, you will fail. You will find out things that don't work. You will find out things that don't get results. You will find out things that don't work for you. And believe it or not, that's the most important thing because then you know not to do them and then you avoid them. And all that does is it narrows down your field of vision until you finally whittle down what works. Have you ever seen those videos on Instagram or on Facebook? Those mesmerizing where you watch machines, mix taffy and those things are just, they get 10 million views because people are watching like, oh, pretty colors. You watch the uh, woodworking, right? Have you seen those where you take a block, a big square block, and they put it on that thing and it spins, and the person makes like a vase out of it or a bedpost or something like that? That's really what you're working with here. You're working with a block. Now, everyone's working with a different size block. Some people are working with a huge piece of wood. Some people are working with something more narrow. So if you have a physique, like for me, let's say, okay, I want to get a little bit leaner or want to build certain muscles. I'm working with a more refined piece of wood. I don't have to necessarily do so much to it. I just got to tweak a couple things. I got to sand a little bit here. I got to, tighten it up a little bit here. I got to polish it a little bit here. Some of you are starting from scratch. You're starting with a big square block, and then you want to get this final polished piece. You're going to have to start shaving stuff off. You're going to have to start chopping with an axe. You're going to have to start doing some macro things in order to get down to those finite, granular little adjustments. So, whereas someone like myself, or a professional bodybuilder, or someone who's a fitness model, someone who has been training for years and understands their body, they might make, and I will make like micro, they're called micro adjustments. I might decrease how many sweet potatoes I eat if I want to drop a little water weight or lean out a little bit. I might increase my sweet potato intake if I feel a little flat or I need a little bit more strength. I feel like I'm slacking a little bit. So I'm going to adjust those things, but that's granular. If you're looking to lose 100 pounds, you're not thinking, oh, maybe I should not eat as many sweet potatoes. You're thinking on a big scale. You got to get your ass off the couch. You have to get going. You have to really start like moving and thinking in a big scale. So, as much as I might talk about cardio and say, oh, cardio is bullshit, don't waste your time doing cardio. If you're extremely overweight and you need to just get into the gym and start doing something, okay, then fucking go to a gym and get on a treadmill and start walking, just start moving. Just start getting to the habit of going. That's the number one thing. You got to work your fitness into your schedule. So when it comes to where you're starting, that's very important. Where you're starting, but actually starting. And a lot of you are getting into this realm of changing your life and adding fitness as a major component of your life. And what is happening is you're not focusing on the most important things. You're focusing on something that's too granular. You're trying to refine your end result before you even started whittling down the wood and getting the right shape. And I'm not saying shape in terms of body shape. I'm talking about shape in terms of you haven't even done the basic stuff yet, right? You haven't done an elimination diet. You haven't done an elimination process to figure out what foods are even best for you. You haven't even gotten a gym membership. You don't even have any equipment or stuff to do at home. You haven't even tried yoga. You haven't tried stretching. You haven't tried going outside for a walk. You're still drinking too much. You're still drinking too much, period. I mean, one sip is too much. You're still drinking soda. You're still drinking too much alcohol. You're still eating breads and fucking milk and dairy and all that stuff. So you haven't even done the basics yet. So that's why I encourage for all of you, you need to start and you just start failing. And essentially, the elimination diet, what I always talk about, is essentially failing. You're setting yourself up to see what foods are causing you to fail. You're doing something a certain way, you're eating a certain way, you're eliminating certain foods for 6 weeks in order to re implement them to see what you're sensitive to. So you're going to be banging yourself up. You're going to realize all these foods that don't work. And then you're going to come back and say, all right, now that I know that those foods don't work, now I can approach my fitness differently. Now I can approach my fitness more tactfully. Now I have an idea of which roads are not good to go down. You might realize, okay, it's not good for me to go down. It's not good for me to go down the dairy road. It's not good for me to go down the grain road. It's not good for me to go down the egg road. Whatever it is. And just getting started, if you want to change, the title says, if you want to change, then change. And that's it. If you want to change, then do it. Nothing is stopping you. Nothing, whether it's a Sunday, a Monday, a Saturday, a Mother's Day, whatever the fuck it is, Nothing is stopping you from changing but you. And the only thing that's holding you back is this idea that you're going to have some kind of perfect setup. Okay. My private platform, Swolenormous X, it's not perfect. What is perfect? What does perfect fucking mean? It's an amazing approach, and a lot of people find exceptional success with it, but nothing is perfect. That's why I do one-on-one phone calls. That's why I engage with you with every message. That's why I'm going to go through and answer all these comments, because each of you are individuals. And I create most of my content, most of my videos, all my programs and stuff to be as individualizable, right? Customizable as possible for the individual, because everyone's different. And because each of you are different, we have to start with the right concepts first before you start getting into those nitty gritty details. So then there's not one size fits all. That's one of the things that's wrong with the fitness community, is that everyone's selling these diet plans and workout plans that are cookie cutter. They send you a fucking PDF, do this. Oh, let's adjust some reps, or, oh, eat half a cup instead of a full cup. That's cookie cutter bullshit. That's not going to help you get to where you want to go, or you're going to plateau really hard. But it's a start. It's a start. And you're making this commitment to yourself that, okay, I'm going to start uh, getting the gain train on. I'm going to start eating healthier. I'm going to start making this a part of my life. And that's a good mindset. But the starting is starting. And the starting is starting to fail. So what I want right now is for you to drop in the comments, what did you fail with when it came to your fitness? And even right now, what failures did you experience? I want to see a list of the failures that you came across. Okay. What did you do when it came to your fitness? When it comes to your fitness, what have you done, or what are you doing right now that you're finding out is essentially what we would classify as a failure, something that doesn't work for you? You realize, okay, either carb cycling doesn't work, or ketosis doesn't work for you, really, or intermittent fasting, or working out first thing in the morning just doesn't work for you. Whether it's your schedule, whether you like it, what doesn't work for you? Okay. Ali G, overtraining. So maybe doing 2 workouts a day or every day, not doing active recovery is too much. Cool. Um, yeah, so put that in the comments. Let me go through some comments here, but I encourage you all to think about why you haven't started. You're going to fail. You are absolutely going to fail. If you go into your fitness knowing and expecting and anticipating, it doesn't mean don't be optimistic. That's the big difference. It doesn't mean assume you're going to fail, so don't try hard. It just means that when you push and when you go really fucking hard at something, you're going to fail. If you want to see failure, or you want to see really shitty quality, go back and watch like my first episodes, right, of the Daily Swole, or I mean, great content, or my first Swole Motion, or some of these other videos I've done, back in the day, 2 years when I didn't even know, fam, I didn't even know how to edit a video. I didn't know. I had to Google it and look. I'm like, okay, what should I use for video editing? And then I realized, oh, my Mac has iMovie on it. I didn't even know my Mac. I didn't even know my fucking Mac had iMovie on it. And this is 2 years ago. I didn't even know my Mac came with iMovie. Like, I, that's almost like common sense. Like, oh, Mac, you come with iMovie. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. And I made some really shitty edits. I look back, it's like, oh God. But it's fun. It's fun. But I started. If I was worried about comparing myself to what what editing professionals do, I never would have started. I never would have fucking started. I never would have started. I never would have started. Right? That is, imagine that. Imagine that. We're all watching this now, or you're listening to this now. Imagine if I never started. We wouldn't be watching. We wouldn't be here right now. All of us that are watching and listening, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have created all this. I wouldn't have a daily show. I wouldn't have all this content. I wouldn't have Swolenormous X. I wouldn't have the private community. I wouldn't have any of it if I didn't start. And it's the same way about weight loss or muscle gain. If you didn't start 2 years ago, you wouldn't have what you have now. But imagine if you think back 2 years ago and you had the opportunity to start and you thought about this and you wanted to lose weight 2 years ago and this, that, and the other, but you didn't start. Think about that. Look at what I've done in 2 years. What if you had started with your fitness journey 2 years ago? You're losing time. You're losing time. That's it. You're losing time. That's the only thing that I can say that is, you cannot debate that. You are losing time. And that's not to be, oh, you're going to die. This is dramatic. You can take it as dramatic. It's the truth. It's dramatic as you want to make it. You are losing time. If you don't start, you're losing time. And that valuable time that you are losing by not starting is you're not finding out the details on the failures. You're not figuring out what makes you fail. and what fails for you and what doesn't work for you. That is as valuable as finding a success. You will learn so much more from failing than you will ever from succeeding. Because when you succeed, it's like, oh, you try to do something. Oh, it worked. Sweet. Oh, success. But in my opinion, I've learned so much more by trying certain things like, it doesn't work. All right, let me do this. It doesn't work. Let me do this. It doesn't work. Let me do this. That doesn't work. I'll do it. Oh, this works. Cool. Let me keep on doing this. Let me keep on doing this. Oh, it's not working anymore. Let me tweak it like this. Let me tweak it like that. Okay, that doesn't work. Let me tweak it like this. Oh, that does work. Okay, let me keep on doing that. And that's it. That's it. And what does that sound like? That sounds like consistency. That sounds like discipline. That sounds like doing it. And even when you fail, you keep fucking doing it. And when it fails again, which it will, you keep on doing it. And then when that fails again, which it will, you keep on doing it. When you hit another failure and a roadblock and a plateau, you keep on doing it. And when that happens and you fuck up there and something gets in your way and you can't lose weight or you can't build muscle, you hit a plateau or someone in your family dies or you get sick or you break your leg. Okay. Well, that's not necessarily a failure, but it's a setback. Okay. Similar type of concept. But then you keep going and you build back up and you keep on going and you keep on going and you keep on going. That's it. That's it. There's no difference in the timeline, right? We can't time travel. So time is going further forward no matter what, whether you're happy, sad, motivated, unmotivated, whether you have family problems, 5 kids, 2 kids, 1 kid, no kids, male, female, fat, skinny. It doesn't matter what you are. Time is moving forward. And if you wait to do things that you want to do, if you wait to do anything with fitness, with your life, you're losing it. You're losing the time. Losing the time to learn. You're losing the time to fail. You're losing the time not only to fail, but you're losing the time to fail and then get back up on your feet and keep going because that's a process, right? You might find something that doesn't work. You get knocked down, but then you get back up and you keep going. Okay, that happens in a time period, but then you learn something, you keep on moving forward. So don't waste time, right? We talk a lot about making what was it? What was it? What was I going to say? I don't know, but don't waste time. Don't waste time. Don't waste time. We talk a lot about working hard and being patient, and that it does take time. And time is an asset that we're all losing every day. Right now, if you're watching this and you're not making a change and you're thinking about getting in shape, you're losing time by watching me. If you're inspired right now and you're ready to start, then turn this off and go get started. That's fine. If you need to keep on hearing this and listen to some more and ask some questions, then stick around. But if you are doing anything besides taking the steps and taking the necessary movements to get shit done that's going to push you forward, you're wasting time. Life moves forward no matter what. Life moves forward no matter what, whether you like it or not. Life's going to keep on going and will absolutely leave you in the dust because it doesn't give a shit about you. Doesn't give a fuck about you, doesn't give a fuck about your weight loss, doesn't care about your family problems, doesn't care about your job, doesn't care about if you're overpaid, underpaid, if you have a long work schedule, short work schedule. It's very black and white. Either you're getting it done or you're not, and your personal situation is irrelevant. So if you're getting your exercise in and your mobility in and you're eating the right foods or you're not. All the other stuff, family, job, scheduling, kids, you can say whatever you want. You can tell me your personal situation as much as you want. It still comes down to, are you doing the things that it's going to take for you to get in shape? If not, it doesn't matter. It's not that you it's not that you don't in reality have less time. Okay, so you have, you sleep in the bed that you made, or maybe you didn't make the bed because you're busy having kids. But if you're having kids and you're using them as an excuse, you're a fucking asshole. If you use your children as an excuse to not get in shape, you are an asshole because you're the one that had sex. You are the one that had kids. Perfect topic for a Mother's Day, right? You were the one that did that. You did that. You did that. You had the child, you didn't hit the abort button, and you had kids. Well, good. Congratulations. Okay. I mean, I'm happy for you if you are happy, but don't use that as a fucking excuse. Don't use that as a fucking excuse. That's not fair to your children. They didn't ask to be born. You fucked and you had a baby. And then you're going to say, oh, well, my kids, I don't have time. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's like me going that having a child and having kids and complaining about not having time because of your kids is like me going into fucking traffic, getting hit by a car, and then complaining about the car hitting me. Well, you wouldn't have gotten hit, Schmendrick, if you didn't go in the fucking road. And you would have more time if you didn't have kids, but you do have kids and you chose to have kids. So fucking work around it and make it happen. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Okay. If you accept the responsibility and if you accept your actions, right? The decisions that you make, then move on and adjust and work around it. But that's what happens. That's where a lot of people get hung up is that everything in your life is pretty much a fucking choice. Your job, your hours. Well, you don't like your job and your hours, then quit. Well, I have kids. Okay, then keep working. Well, but then how am I going to work out? Get up earlier. Well, but it's really early. Then work out later after you put your kids to sleep. Well, but then I have to work out at home and I can't. Okay, then buy equipment. Well, but then I need more money. Well, then save or get another job. Well, but then I'm already working out. Then fucking go online and start selling shit and drop ship online and make some extra money every month and then buy equipment and then work out at home. Like do something or lift milk jugs or just lift your children. Fucking do something. And it's not going to happen unless you do. And it's not going to be easy no matter what. So if you assume that it's going to be a fucking nightmare, essentially, and there's going to be a lot of failures, there's going to be up and down, there's going to be a lot of restriction and pushback, maybe with work or kids or family. But you have to get on the same page with people around you, and you have to fucking do it. Like, what do you want? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to offer you that is going to make your life easier? Right? If you're making your life more difficult, okay, well, that's on you. I can't make your life easier. Of course, I mean, I can give you that's why I have all my stuff in Swolenormous X, for example, all my stuff, even the videos here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever you're watching, you can watch them on your phone. Like everything I do is mobile based. Everything I do is on Swolenormous X and here on my public platforms. Everything is so you can watch it wherever you are, whenever you are. Like I'm not sending out physical books. No one's going to sit there and carry around an extra huge fucking book. That's stupid. That's why my ebook is digital because you can boom, have it instantly and then look at it at your convenience. So everything is digital, everything is portable. Things are easier to get done more than anything or any other time in the world. It's easier to get shit done. The question is, are you going to get shit done? The question is, are you going to make excuses? The question is, are you going to complain and try to work around it? And no one cares. I don't care. I don't care about your excuses. I don't. Right? I have empathy and I'm sympathetic towards your or empathetic towards your excuses. I know, okay, you might not have as much time, but that doesn't change the fact that you still need to do the things you need to do to get the results that you say you want. So then it comes down to, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to make that sacrifice? And if not, then you better accept the fact that you might have medical conditions and issues and heart disease and possibly diabetes and issues resulting from that. You're going to be leading a poor example for your children. You're going to perhaps allow them to get overweight and maybe have issues with weight and lack of exercise the rest of their life because they're learning from mommy and daddy. I mean, I'm just using the family example, not just because it's Mother's Day, but just because it makes sense. And a lot of you use that excuse. And let's go through some of these things. Let's go through some of these questions and some of these failures or issues that you might be having, and let's talk a little bit more about that. But that's just some straight that's just some straight shit, and that's the world that we live in. People making excuses and people not having what they want, but not doing what it takes to get what they want. So let's see what's going on Facebook. At the gym, working out and listening. Sweet. Let's see. Let me scroll back up on Facebook. Facebook is blowing up. Kyle Paradish. My thing is when I get in the gym and start lifting, I know I can keep going, but my mind just keeps saying, give up. That's enough. And eventually I do. Okay. Well, what do you mean by keep going? You just give up? And then, I mean, I don't know what that means. Your body always wants to give up because lifting weights and causing stress always hurts. Let's see. John Rackham started out using barbell for bench press and realized my strength wasn't there. So I switched to dumbbells and it feels amazing. So much more control. There you go. So you tried one and then you moved to the other. Good. Mad truth right here. Deliver it. Sometimes we need to hear from someone else how lazy we really are. Thanks, Juan. Just start. Kyle, quit counting reps. Just go until you can't. It's all mental. It's true. Good comments. Let's see. On YouTube, Tyler Bear. I'm good at starting things, but I have issues maintaining my focus. You don't have issues maintaining your focus. You have issues with your purpose. You have issues with your reason why you started in the first place. And a lot of you need to really figure out what that main reason is because lifting weights and changing and eating healthy and doing all these things, it's not a casual thing. You're changing a lot of things about your life, but it will become a norm and it will become the most important thing you've ever done in your life because it will help you live a longer and more fulfilled life if you are healthy. So no one has issues maintaining focus. You lose your purpose. You lose your vision. So you don't lose inspiration or motivation. You don't lose that drive. You don't get bored. When someone's like, "Oh, I'm bored in the gym." You're not bored. You lost sight of your fucking purpose. You lost sight of your vision. Because let me explain one of the fundamental aspects of lifting weights. What do you call it when you do, let's say I lift, I do a curl and I put the weight back down, I extend my arm and I do it again. It's called a repetition. What's the definition of a repetition? Okay, let's say it's a cycle of one movement from beginning to end. Um, it's repetition over and 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 over. It's just repetitions. If you expose your body to more repetitions and heavier weights and lifting and repetitions, if you do yoga every day, it's a repetition. Every class is a repetition, a repetition, a repetition. You're going to adapt. So it's not going to be exciting. Fitness is not supposed to be exciting. All right. Anyone that tells you it's supposed to be exciting and fun, they're trying to sell you something. It's marketing. That's what's marketing, right? So when you go to the supermarket, shitty foods are marketed as tasty, packed with vitamins, minerals, bright color on the boxes. That's marketing to try to get you excited to associate Lucky Charms with happiness when in reality it should be synonymous with heart disease, diabetes, and fucking asthma. Okay? So that's the problem with that. That's marketing. When there's an exercise program like exciting, lose weight in just 30 minutes a day, fun, blah, blah, blah. It's not supposed to be fun. Right there, you're like, all right, this is gonna be a fucking joke. It's not supposed to be fun. It's not fun. Do not get into fitness thinking it's gonna be fun. Okay, Zumba might be fun, but have you ever seen people that do Zumba? Yeah. They the problem is they look like they fucking do Zumba. That's the problem. Most of the people that do Zumba in any Zumba class, and I know I live in Miami area, there's a lot of Zumba classes, and most people in Zumba are overweight. Sure, they're moving around. Well, at least they're doing something. At least they're moving. Okay, at least they're wasting their time. Do it for entertainment, but these people just go and do Zumba and then don't do anything else. No, you need to you need to have the complete picture. You need to have the whole thing. You're losing on so many levels. Okay, ladies that are more at risk for osteoporosis, Zumba ain't helping you with your bone health. Okay, you can shake your hips all you want. You're not going to strengthen the fucking bones. All right, you're going to plateau really quickly with that, and you're still going to have issues with a wheelchair. I'm telling you, you need to do everything. You need to get that well-rounded approach. So get your focus and get your head out of your ass thinking that it's going to be fun or it's going to be easy. It's going to be boring. And you're going to do a lot of reps. And reps mean over and over and over and over again. That's what it takes. Yesterday, I didn't feel like going to the gym and I could drink and relax watching the game. So I went to the gym. Honestly, if you start thinking about your body like that, if you start thinking your body like that, when anytime you don't want to do something, you say, well, that means my body doesn't want to do it. So that means I'm going to do it. That will actually get you a ton of results if you make it a point that when you don't wanna do something, you do the opposite. Yeah, you can't always listen to your body. Mm-mm-mm. I did the elimination diet. I tried keto, low carb, none of them work. That's not true. Elimination diet, it works if you do it the proper way. I mean, because it's an analysis. Either do grains, sweet potato, and white rice are good, same with grass-fed beef and raw dairy. I would not do grains. No, no grains, and white rice should also be cut out for most people. Just, uh I'm not sure how you did the elimination diet because that works for everyone. The elimination diet is a process to figure out what the and the way you worded it sounds like you're thinking about it wrong. It's not a weight loss diet. It's not something that's going to get you results. It's something for you to determine what foods you should be eating so you can see results long term. So, that's not how the elimination diet works, so you gotta change your mindset on that. Uh, oh, you said none of them. Oh, you said I did the okay, did I read that wrong? I apologize. I did the elimination diet. Oh, I see it. Okay, no, I see it now. I just read it fast. I did the elimination diet, comma, I had tried the keto low carb. None of them work. I get okay, so I see what you're saying. So you said you that worked, and then you were just making another statement. No, it's all right. It's all right. It's the internet. You're probably just typing it quickly on your phone. No worries. Well, that applies. I mean, that was still a good response, just in case some people think it doesn't. But it's the right mindset when you go into the elimination. So cool. Let's see. Our children should never be an excuse. Greg Brugger. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your name. If anything, um, we are lazy. Our kids learn from that. If you're lazy, right, right. Children should never be an excuse. And no, I don't have kids, but I still know what it's like to have responsibility. It's not different. It's not different. Anyone that has kids makes it out to be this whole, well, you wouldn't know if you don't have kids. You can't say that. You can't say that. Time management is time management. Scheduling is scheduling. Priorities are priorities. Done. That's it. That's it. I was told by Validus Branham, I was told by a trainer that I'd never weigh more than 170. I'm an ectomorph and skinny by nature and was devastated to hear that from a quote professional, but I was determined to prove him wrong. Just stick with it. Yeah, of course you can gain more than 170. You just have to eat enough to do that. And it's not easy. Let's see. Samina, I am a Zumba teacher, but I do yoga and weights training at home. That's great. That's great. But do your students do that? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Zumba, but that's entertainment. I'm not gonna sit here and call that exercise. That's movement. Or okay, you can call it exercise, but it's not training. Training is periodized, training is specific, training has specific adaptations. There's a real purpose with training. That's one of the issues with group exercise classes in general is that they are not training. Okay, you go there and you get exhausted, you go there and have fun, you go there and you get tired, you get sweaty, but it's just like a random bunch of people that get together. There's no future there. There's no progression. It's just doing a class or doing an exercise and then moving on. And that goes with any kind of CrossFit or Group X class or cookie cutter type thing, or when you're trying to have 30 people in a room do the same thing. How it'll work for a couple people, won't work for some people, and it'll work great for others. And some people be like, well, what happened? And learning to listen to your body is key in regards to elimination. That is elimination. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Thanks for your words. Always inspire me. You're welcome, Lena. You're welcome. And there's really nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with, um, there's nothing wrong with anything. And if you ever send me a message that said, what's the best food or what's the best exercise? Chances are I'd respond right away saying there is no best. There is no quote unquote best because you'll have people that do all sorts of different things in this world and see what might be perceived to be great results. So you can't say that this is the best way. That goes back to what I originally said that if you want to change, you have to start because there is no perfect. There is no one road and one size fits all. So you can't say that there is a best, there is no perfect, there is no this is the way to do it. There's no other option. But what I am convinced of is that there's a certain mental approach. There's a certain mental approach that is the right way. There's a certain mental approach that is the right way that will determine whether or not you're going to see change. That will determine whether or not you're going to see progress. That will determine whether or not you are going to really keep this for the long term. And that's really important. That's really important to make that distinction. Tyler on YouTube, the best one is the one you will do consistently. Well, the best one, the only one that's gonna work is one that you do consistently. Now, how well that works, then it's gonna come down to whittling down and making it more narrow and making your vision more narrow because you're gonna start doing something consistently. It might work for a couple days or a week or two, and then you might hit a plateau or not see as many results. And that's when you might have to change things up. So if you weigh 300 pounds and you go and you start walking around the house more, you may lose weight. If you cut out foods with the elimination diet, you may start to lose weight. Okay, well, that's only going to go so long before you need to start moving more and lifting weights and doing yoga and really being consistent with your nutrition. So then you're going to find more results. So anytime you hit a plateau, you might have to tweak things, or you might have to double down and buckle up and just be more consistent and just be more patient. So that's important too. A lot of people in this world don't have patience, period, especially now when everything's such instant gratification. You need to allow your body to adapt. You need to give your body that time in order to change because your body doesn't want to change. We've talked about this with adaptation. Your body doesn't want to fucking change. Your body does not want to have anything to do with changing. Changing is adaptation, changing is challenge, changing is either building or losing and restructuring things. It's a habit. And if you change that habit with your body, you'll see better results. You see better change. Tyler, I like white rice. What's wrong with white rice? It's a grain, maybe nothing. But I know personally, whenever I've had rice, brown rice is worthless. Having white rice, it just doesn't do anything for my body. I see no benefit. I feel no benefit. I don't feel excellent. I don't feel full. I don't feel satisfied. I mean, you eat anything, you feel full, but I don't feel satisfied. When I have sweet potatoes, I feel strong. I feel pumped. I feel, don't eat white rice over sweet potatoes. I don't think, I'm hard pressed to find someone that feels rice is better than sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is the number one carbohydrate, in my opinion. I eat both. You can have rice. Look, if you're having struggles or you're trying to take it to the next level, I suggest trying to go more ham on sweet potatoes. But sweet potatoes are awesome. Some people have issues with rice. That's why we do the elimination diet. If you did the elimination, but you were still eating rice, then you didn't really do a full elimination. You just did a couple things because rice is on the list of cutting things out. You have a hard time gaining weight, so eat more. Then eat more sweet potatoes and eat more. Yeah, it's that simple. If you're having trouble gaining weight, first off, even if you're trying to gain weight, you should still do the elimination diet because if you have perforations in your intestines and you have leaky gut and you have issues from inflammation, it's going to be harder for your body to absorb nutrients in order to gain weight. So if you're struggling gaining weight, you should still do an elimination. You might lose some water weight or some body fat, but you're going to figure out which foods are best, and then you can just up the ante on those once you figure out which foods are best for you. And having intestinal inflammation is going to make it challenging to gain weight as well as lose weight. I love sweet potatoes. What are your feelings about black rice? I don't know anything about it, and I don't eat it, and I have no desire to eat it. Usually, the husks and on rice, it's just like having eating rice is almost just like eating a fucking it's just like chewing sand. It's like chewing sand. It's cheap, but so are sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are like 69 cents a pound. What's a swole? Does it hurt? That's a stupid question on Twitch. Leave me alone. What's a swole? Google it. Where can I get more information on the elimination diet? If you're on Instagram, you can head on over to Facebook. I have an amazing workshop on that. It's called the Anti Diet Workshop. So if you go to Facebook and send me a message, you'll see in my messenger window in my main menu at the bottom, you'll see a link to register for the Anti Diet Workshop. You could also do a search on YouTube. On my page, of course, I've done several podcasts on the elimination diet. You can just type in Swolenormous and then elimination in the search bar on YouTube, and you'll see the episodes I've talked about it. But if you really want a full breakdown with all the foods and the nitty gritty, you can check out the workshop on Facebook. You're welcome, Lashes. How do you cook your sweet potatoes? Just bake. I bake. I rinse them off, rub them a little bit, scrub them, and then I throw them in a toaster oven at 400 for an hour. I'll do 3 or 4 at a time. After the hour, they're cooked, like, done, and I just eat them. I pull off the little end, the little nub, the root part, and I eat them. That's it. That's it. You wanna put some butter on it? Put some grass-fed butter on it, done. Done. That's what I like about sweet potatoes. Probably the best carbohydrate, the easiest to cook, and it tastes good. You don't have to put stuff on it. If you wanna put some butter or some salt and pepper, whatever, fine, but just eat it, and it's great. It's just the easiest fucking thing to cook. So for me, it was always about what foods were the best for me and which foods are the easiest to make because I don't have time to fucking cook. I don't care about how it looks. I don't care about presentation. This isn't fucking Emerald. I'm not trying to be on Top Chef. Just eat the fucking food. Especially those of you that are trying to bulk. It doesn't matter how it tastes. If it's good for you and it works, eat it. If you're trying to lose weight, same thing. If it doesn't taste good, who fucking cares? Fitness is not supposed to be entertainment, and food is a tool. And you use the tool for what it's supposed to be. You don't like the taste of something, but let's say it's the best thing for you and you know it works, then suck it up and do it. Blend it, cook it, bake it, do whatever it takes to do it. Sacrifice. You are just raised in a society that equates every single holiday and event to fucking food consumption. It's a birthday, we eat. It's a holiday, 4th of July, we barbecue. Thanksgiving, we stuff our face. Christmas, we make a ham. New Year's, we're drinking. Valentine's Day, we eat chocolate. Easter, we do chocolate. And then, it's just food, 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 food. Hey, come on over. We're going to have dinner. And then everyone just stuffs their fat faces. That, that is, that's the conundrum. That's the issue. That is the issue. That's the issue at hand. Is the idea that everything entertainment wise, everything has to do with food consumption. Everything has to do with food consumption. That's how this world works is food consumption. And food is not entertainment. Food is fuel. Food is a tool. It's what we use to give our body energy so we can do the tasks that we need to do, lifting, and then we manipulate it. We add calories to bulk up. We cut a little bit in order to drop some extra weight, but we have to be realistic about those goals as well. But that's just the process, right? That's just the process. And if you're not patient, you're not going to get it straight the fuck up. So whether you're watching on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, if you're not patient, you will not get it. I don't care what you're doing. You're not going to build muscle fast. You're not going to lose weight fast. It will not happen. And if you do, you're going to gain it back fast. Okay. Any of these, the reason why keto and paleo and all these diets really work fast or seemingly work fast, you lose weight and you gain it back is because when you cut carbs and you cut a lot of processed shit, you lose water weight fast. And then when you go back to eating real food, you gain weight. Oh my God, but I gained the weight back. I tried this, it didn't work. I gained the weight back. Oh my goodness. Let me go back on it again. Then you go back on the diet again. It's not a diet. It's a way of life. It's a way of living. It's a way of eating. I like the word diet. It's from Greek, right? It means way of eating, way of living. That's what your body is. That's what you're doing. You have to set yourself up the right way, mentally and physically. So eat the right foods, but mentally you have to have the right approach. You have to have the right approach mentally. I love sweet potatoes. If I get a rare craving for fries, I have sweet potato fries in my air cooker. That's cool. Okay, and you're not going to be perfect. Sometimes you need to break off and have a cheat meal or something, but a lot of you give yourself a cheat meal and you haven't even earned it yet. You don't deserve a cheat meal. Most people don't deserve a cheat meal and they think they do. Dom Dawson. Yeah, I did the elimination diet. I'm 103 and consume you're 103. You're 103 pounds? How old are you? How tall are you? 103 pounds? Are you like 15 or 14 or 13? You're 16. All right, so you're skinny. I consume lots of sweet potatoes and grass-fed eggs, bone broth, and raw milk and kefir. You need carbs, yo. Yeah, sweet potatoes. You consume lots of sweet potatoes. I yet to consume processed shit because I don't crave it and don't know what the and I know what yeah, good. Okay, 1651. All right. Cool. You're still growing. You're still growing in all aspects. So good. I mean, you're making good choices. Yeah. If you're starting really young and you're learning how your body works already, you're on the right track, man. Just keep going. Like you're young. Shit. You got a lot of years of figuring stuff out. A lot of people watching here are in their 30s and 40s and they're trying to figure shit out. So you're starting off real young. That's great. It's awesome. I started 3 years ago. Good for you, man. What are your thoughts on quinoa? I don't consume it. It's a grain. It's a superfood of the Incas. It's not. I haven't heard really good things about it. It can cause inflammation. Test it. Test it on yourself. I don't consume it. I've had quinoa before, like back in the day, like years ago, and again, it's like rice for me. It just doesn't do anything. Anything. I'll eat it. Just ugh. You boil it and you get that little squirrely fucking shit, and you eat it. It's like eating soft sand. I just don't. I don't see any benefit to it for myself. For myself. But it is a grain. You'll call it superfood. And when you say complete protein, and that's what they do, they say it's a complete protein. Well, there's a lot of foods that are complete proteins. Everyone wants to demonize different things. Everyone wants to say, my thing is the best. My workout program is the best. This is stupid because this one's bad because I'm right, you're wrong. How about this? You ever heard of this one, right? How about We can both be right. People that eat meat, people that are vegans, people that are vegetarians, people that want to eat quinoa or rice, those that say, okay, it's not good for you. Why can't both people be right? Why can't both people be right with different perspectives? Okay. So both people can be right. Because if one thing works for me, how are you going to come over into my corner and tell me that this doesn't work? You're going to come over into my corner and tell me that grass fed beef, bone broth, everything that I'm doing doesn't work. When obviously, with my health profile, the way I do look, what I do, it works for me. How can you tell me it doesn't work for me? How can you tell me it's bad for me? You can't. Now, those of you that might go the opposite direction, how can you say that it's bad if it's working for someone else? If someone else wants to be a vegan, fine. I don't promote that because it's a challenging lifestyle and I don't think it's natural, but it also doesn't mean that it's unhealthy and that people can't be healthy eating vegan type foods. But you could also be very unhealthy being a vegan. You could be very unhealthy and eat meat. Okay. It's the poor choices, it's other life decisions, it's other things. What if you're a vegan and you smoke and you don't exercise and you eat a lot of garbage foods that are just called vegan because they don't have animal products in it? You eat cookies and shit. Like you're gonna be fucked up, vegan or not. So there's a lot of other avenues or a lot of other factors. That's the word. That's the word. There's a lot of other factors when it comes to that stuff. There's a lot of other factors when it comes to nutrition. I got really sick becoming vegan. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. It's not an easy thing to do. And I just don't think it's easy because it's not logical. I don't think it's logical and I don't think it's natural. That's my opinion, regardless of whatever cherry pick studies people want to throw at you and say, oh, this shows that this decreases this, that, and the other. It's natural to eat meat and fat and healthy. It's normal to eat healthy creatures. If you're going to eat healthy creatures, you eat healthy things. Why can't you love animals and care about animals? And okay, we watch too many. I've said this before. We watched too many. We grew up on Disney movies. We grew up on Disney movies and we have pets. That's the first problem. When you have a farm, you might not have pets. You have animals and stock that you eat the eggs and you do that kind of stuff. We grew up watching Lion King and all dogs go to heaven and every movie has fucking animals that talk and we personify animals and that doesn't make it any less right for them to be consumed. Stronger species that can eat meat, why not? Why not? And that's a topic for a whole other discussion. And it's just general common sense, step back and kind of look at everything. But that's just one of those things that can be a moral thing. That's fine. My point is that there's more than one road to success. So you can't demonize someone else's method just because you don't like it or you don't approve of it. If someone wants gay marriage, religion, politics, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? You can still care for other people and you can still do healthy things. If that's the goal, if your goal and your vision and your journey is to be healthy overall, right? Is to be healthier and live longer, be mobile, then it's yoga, then it's eating right for your body, then it's doing the elimination and figuring out what lifestyle is right for you. You don't want to eat animals, then don't eat animals, but still eat foods that don't cause you inflammation and do this and do that and find your sweet spot. That goes back to the original conversation about the block of wood and whittling it down for your shape. Everyone's going to start with a different block. Everyone's going to start with a different perspective. If we are all standing in an art gallery and we're all standing in different places and we're all looking at the same painting, our angle of perspective is going to be different for each person. Does that make the painting any different? No. Okay. That painting might be the results of being healthy and living a long, healthy life, but the direction and the angle in which we're all looking at it is different. So people's perspectives are different, people's beliefs are different. So fine, do what the fuck you want. Just get off each other's backs and focus on what works best for you. But doesn't mean it's going to be easy and doesn't mean you don't have to put some work in to figure out what is best for you. And that comes back to being a lazy fuck and not putting in the work. I love sweet potatoes. If I get a rare craving, oh, we just talked about the fries. I went down to like 90 pounds. Not for me. Oh, well, yeah. So you were super unhealthy when you did that. A lot of people really crash hard when they do the whole vegan thing. Thank you, Swole. No more weak mental mindset. I will report back with my progress. Thanks for everything. Sure, you can report back. That's cool. That's cool. Have you tried purple sweet potatoes? Yeah, the Japanese ones, the Japanese yams, those are good. Do you use creatine? I don't. That's one of the more tested supplements, but it's found in beef. I mean, I got plenty of beef, so creatine's there. You can supplement with creatine. The issue with creatine is that a lot of people don't realize that everyone reacts differently because you have resting levels of creatine in your body, and if you're consuming animal products like meat, for example, that's where you find in the muscle. That's where you find creatine. So you can supplement with creatine and see how it works for you. It's not dangerous. And by use creatine, I'm sure you're saying, do you think it works? This is a very, very tested supplement and it's shown to be effective. But again, it's found naturally in food. So if you're eating sufficiently, you might not need to supplement and it might react differently. You might take it and not see much of a difference. And it's hard to justify that and it's hard to quantify that too, because when you take something and you know you're taking creatine, like if someone slipped in your water and you didn't realize you were consuming it and you felt stronger, then you don't have that placebo effect because if you know you're taking creatine consciously, right? I heard it makes you bald. No, that's not true. Creatine doesn't make you bald. Who the fuck told you that? That's not true at all. If you know you're taking creatine or you know you're taking a supplement and then you have that placebo effect where maybe you feel stronger because you think, right? You know, you're aware of it. That's why they do double blind studies. That's why they do placebos when they do testing. So that's where it comes down to whether or not a supplement is working for you. A lot of times it's that understated or that unknown or that placebo effect because you know you're aware that you're taking a supplement. So you're a bodybuilder on Twitch. No, I don't compete. I'm a bodybuilder for my personal health. Swolenormous for president. Fuck that. I don't want to be president. That job sucks. That's a shitty job. That's a shitty job. Who the fuck wants to be president? Trump didn't even want to be president. He got that by accident. He was shocked. Let's see. I prefer grilled meat and plenty of vegetables. I am trying to get my 14-year-old son to eat less fried foods. It isn't easy, but at least he tries different foods. Any suggestions for different foods for a growing boy? Yeah. Being a mother and feeding him what he will eat, and he'll eat it whether the fuck he likes it or not. How about that? He likes fried foods. Of course he likes fried foods. Of course he does. He's a kid. They've caught him. They've caught him. People like crystal meth when they start doing crystal meth too. Have you can have them look into more fatty foods, grass-fed beef and those they're very satisfying when you're eating fatty foods. It's satisfying for a reason. It's filling for a reason. It tastes good for a reason. Now, fried foods are fried in vegetable oil. You're getting garbage and you're getting carcinogens and you're getting a lot of other shit that fucks up the system. But things like grass-fed butter, bone broth, grass-fed animal fats, avocado, olive oil, those things are better. But fat is very satisfying. It's clean energy. Clean energy. We're about wrapping up. So on Instagram, FYI, got about a minute, 2 minutes, 2 minute warning on the live broadcast on Instagram. So I will not restart it. So that's going to cut off automatically after an hour. So we'll wrap that up here because that's about all I got for you. Good questions, good feedback, good input. And this is episode 737. And make sure you don't wait on that special offer to join Swolenormous X. I'm going to be posting by the end of today, probably later tonight at the latest, new workouts and new training videos and stuff in Swolenormous X. So if you're interested in my nutrition content, my private community programs, go to swolenormousx.com. Entry for membership is a little over 50% off. So don't miss that. Go check it out, swolenormousx.com. And you can always check out my Facebook page. Send me a message on Messenger. Just hit me up with a Facebook message and you'll see a whole breakdown of my ebook. You can get my access to my nutrition workshop if you're interested in that. But just go over on Facebook and send me a message. You'll see it in the main menu, all the links for the free content. Okay. So that that is episode 737 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, and Pimpcast in the realm because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you for joining me on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio gains. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love the gains. Oh. Yes, I will see you all in Swolenormous X. Remember, swolenormousx.com to join the fam. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Papa Swolio. Oh. Out. Later, guys. For Mama. Go slam some stems. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Lates McGates.